Hey everybody, this is my review of Fantasy Art Drawing Skills by Sokar Miles, and apparently it's all the art techniques, demonstrations, and shortcuts you need to master fantasy art, which is surprisingly true. I got a ton of value out of this book, which is amazing because I got it for $3 on a library salvage sale. And so some basic things that I'm going to go over in this book are things like basic composition and capturing movement and exaggerating details to get more character in my character drawings. And of course, the things that we're going through so far are simply the drawing materials and beginner section that every single art book in the world has. This stuff probably won't interest you too much, but it's only the first 20, 30 pages of a book that has this stuff. You really see it's talking about digital media. Here's an actually interesting part that did help me a little bit. There is some portions about inking and scanning in your actual paper drawings onto a computer so that you can ink them digitally. That way you don't have to worry about ruining your first draft. There's also a nice section on inspiration and places that you can draw inspiration from. One thing that you'll love about this book is that there's tons of little hidden doodles and drawings in here that I just love to find. Every time I flip through this book, there's another one that I miss. This beautiful fairy queen, I didn't even notice her because I was always distracted by the huge one here. It makes a lot of good suggestions like drawing from life, things about different hatching and cross hatching and texture creation to help you get more depth and more of a feel for the theme that you're trying to go for. I'm going to skip ahead a bit. Cool drawing of a mouse with a pipe. Very, very fancy. Let's skip ahead a bit. Page 55, where the book was really made for me on page 55, because here they talk about the basics of composition. So you can look at this drawing, for instance, this gorgeous piece. Let me move the camera really quick. This gorgeous piece that, oh man, when I bought this book, I thought I'll never be able to do anything like that. Like, it just looks gorgeous with the spacing and the negative space, the parts, you know, where there's no art at all, and then you look over and it explains some of the things. Because the human eye likes to see things in thirds, and so what we have here is just a grid, and anywhere where the grid intersects, that's where you should put a point of interest. Pretty cool, huh? But it doesn't stop there. It also goes through some of the other art pieces, like this. Oh my gosh. Just this gorgeous, gorgeous piece. It's really hard to comprehend this piece at first, but you can see this little dog kind of talking to this weird like forest spirit thing. So freaking cool. But then it goes over the composition of it, and there's just this circular pattern, and details kind of swirl around until they get to a center point. You can see that this is doing just that, swirling, swirling, swirling. Very cool, very, very cool. And it has others like the C-shaped composition pattern. You can see it there. So all very cool stuff. So I gotta say, I highly recommend this book. This has gotta be my favorite art book that I've ever purchased. A lot of my other art books I kind of just gave away after I got one or two things out of it, but this one I had to keep. Last thing I'm gonna talk about is how they do this. Now what do I mean? I mean that they take a human form, right? Because you can see the person inside of this, and they stretch it as much as they can, until it's just barely recognizable as a human, and that's just so cool. In fact, it suggests that you do that for when you're creating your characters, to distort it as much as possible, to mix it with animals or machines or what have you, so that you can create something new that is still recognizable as a humanoid creature. All right, I'm just gonna flip through the rest of the book here, kind of rapid fire. But yeah, oh, gorgeous. Ugly, but gorgeous. So this book is full of fantastic advice and tons of inspirational artwork pieces. Okay. I don't want to show you the entire book because then you wouldn't buy it. Anywho, that's the whole thing. All right, take care, y'all.